Can vehicle modifications affect a car accident claim? Well, vehicle modifications are pretty popular, and whether it's performance related or appearance related or just something somebody does for their personal preference, they're pretty common. But can these changes affect liability if there's a car accident? Well, of course, it depends on all the facts. So, what are some common modifications? People like to put on custom wheels, different sizes, suspensions, lifts, drops, performance exhaust, aftermarket lighting. There's all kinds of things. If you can think of it, it's probably out there to be done to a vehicle. So while some of these things can make your vehicle perform better or worse, they can also complicate things if there's an accident. For example, let's first talk about liability. If there's a car accident and the modifications are found to be a contributing factor to the accident, say if something's lifted very high, becomes unstable, and that leads to an accident, will this affect your liability? Well, it may if the modification changed the handling abilities of the vehicle, and that change is what resulted in the crash. So then let's talk about insurance a little bit. Everybody has or is supposed to have insurance, and not every single modification is covered by an insurance policy. If you've got auto insurance and you're talking to the broker, they may say, "Hey, do you have any aftermarket, stereo equipment, things like that?" And if you put a $5,000 stereo into your vehicle, they're going to probably cover that and charge you a little bit more for your coverage. But what if you drop your Lexus and camber it? Is that something that they're going to be covering? Well, probably not. And then what happens if it affects the handling of the vehicle and there's a traction issue and that results in an accident? Is the insurance company going to cover that? And that is an open question. There's probably going to be an inspection of the vehicles. The insurance company is going to find out the vehicle is modified, and then it's going to be up to the particular company to decide, hey, you know what, this is just an ordinary accident. We're going to provide coverage like we always do. Or they may say, hey, look, these are modifications that we didn't know about. They're not okay. Maybe we shouldn't cover it. And that can get a little bit dicey. So if you can talk to your insurance broker about modifications you do that may impact the way the vehicle drives, not just the way it looks, to make sure you don't have a coverage issue later on. So another consideration on the legal end of it is the modification actually legal? Now, if you put on a modified exhaust, your vehicle is really, really loud, and maybe that violates something in the state you're in. Is that going to cause an accident? Well, probably not. But what if you raise your truck 4 feet up in the air? Maybe that doesn't comply with legal requirements in your state. And if it turns out that a modification, and yes, this is a silly example, but hey, let's roll with it. If the modification impacts the handling of the vehicle, and because of that, there's an accident, in addition to that, the driver owner gets cited for an illegal modification, and the illegal modifications what contributed to the accident, that may be challenging to fight because the other side is going to say, hey, look, you had this modification, it made your vehicle unstable. It's an illegal modification, and it's because you did this illegal modification that the accident happened. You need to pay. And then it becomes a rather complicated issue. So if something comes up, you're going to want to talk to a lawyer in the state you're in that's familiar with vehicle modifications and how the law may impact them. If you're in Nevada where I am and you have questions, please feel free to give me a call or drop me an email.